Y'all know black people, when they even came to work the rest of the 90 days. Honestly, we'll start that today. Don't give me no 90-day notice. We're starting that today. I don't know why I'm dramatic. I'd be like, good morning. So I just wanted to come on here and do my skincare with you and yap a little bit. Yes, so yesterday, I'm gonna get into it because it was a nice chill day. We stayed home and watched movies. We watched Unstoppable, with Denzel Washington in it, and I think Chris Pratt is his name. That was such a good movie, like a runaway train. And when I say I was on the edge of my seat, like I kept being like this. I want to talk about that movie because this guy wasn't doing his job correctly. He let a train get away and it ended up going at like crazy speed. And then it was like pummeling through Pennsylvania. Like, oh, and everything in its path, it would not stop. And it was heavy loads on this train. Like, it was like the train cars that you could think of. They had I think it was like over 20 of them. But the last few cars, like the last 10 cars, they had like highly hazardous and flammable material. So it was like, oh, if it crashed or if anything happened to it or with it, it would blow up they said it would literally level a whole city. So it was on a main line too. So it was like they had to like coordinate, what's her name? Rosario Dawson. She was like the operations manager in the back end, kind of telling Denzel and Chris Pratt what to do. And, but they were on a different line. They were like also on a train, but on the main line as well. So it was like when they found out, this was going on and they were trying to stop it on the back end. They had to like hurry up and there was so many times where it was literally so close, like they were coming at each other, the trains, and then it was like that. The runaway train was 777, I think. I hope so. It was 777, and it had literally started out going like head to head and then veering off with like a train that had like a bunch of kids for a field trip. I said long story short. I don't know why I lied, but that was the first instance. Then it was like another instance where it was like a railroad crossing and people were like crossing and someone had gotten in an accident. This guy, he had like a pickup truck with his horse stable on it. And because the accident happened, he couldn't move fast enough. And the train was coming. There's no one in it. No one could stop it. The sheriff was like, move. So he got the horses out of the stable, and the whole like metal thing that holds the horses to transport was still in on the railroad tracks. And when I say that train literally pummeled through that like it was nothing, shoop, it just kept going. So they was like, oh, this is so dangerous. So then it comes up to where this train crosses, and they didn't realize how fast it was going. It was going at full speed. But the guy who made the mistake, he was trying to lie at first. He was like, oh, it's just cruising. And then the people were like trying to, as they realized, like they were trying to stop it. And they were like, oh, it's not even coming. Like I've been here 6 minutes waiting for it to come so I could do the little stop thing. And Rosario Dawson was like, dude, like how fast was this train go? Like what was going on with it? And he was like, oh, the lever was on this. She was like, the train is at full speed. Literally, it got up to like 70 miles per hour. No one's in it. Heavy. And everything that's on it keeps like pushing it, like, because it's so heavy. So then here comes Denzel and Pratt. Like they kind of crossed it and boom, like that. And Denzel and them park, and then they were like, and Denzel's an engineer in this movie, right? He's like, basically a train engineer or whatever. And so he was like, he realized what was going on, and he was like, you know what, like, honestly, if the option of like closing like the track on it is not possible, he was like, you know what, maybe I'll like try to go and attach. Because he looked at the back of the train. So anyway, he looked at the back of the train. He was like, oh, I can attach the back of our train on that train, and then we could pump the brakes, and maybe that'll slow it down so someone can hop on it, so they can stop it. Because all they wanted to do was get it slow enough for someone to be able to jump in. So they start following the train, and they're like, oh, we're going to do that. And then, operations and the operations CEO, like the VP, they're like, no, 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 don't do that. It's not your job. You're risking your life. We just going to clear out this town and derail it, which means basically they're going to destroy it. And it was like all of that, tons of flammable and hazardous material was literally going to cost them, like, they was going to be costed like millions of dollars. Like, they said over $100 million in all of that, and a different engineer had already lost his life trying to stop it in a different part of the movie. So he's like telling them, no, 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 it is what it is at this point. And he was like, Denzel and the guy was like, we're going to do this. And he was like, oh, if you do this, you're fired. And he was like, well, you already fired me. You already gave me like a 90-day notice. And this is day 72. So you're fired, but you want to go above and beyond for this company that fired you? I was like, man, y'all know black people, when they even came to work the rest of the 90 days, honestly, we'll start that today. Don't give me no 90-day notice. We're starting that today. So anyway, they go after it. And it was like they had to catch up. Like, and then they got close, and then the guy Chris Pratt's character, he goes up there and he like latches it on. But anyway, I guess my whole point is, it was just such a good movie. Like, please watch it. Like, it was, I don't know, and it was just about a train. I was like, wow, like only Denzel can do this, because the way we was literally on the edge of our seat, like, oh my God. And then this is me. I'd be so dramatic. I don't know why I'm dramatic. I'd be like, oh my God. This would be a whole, like, movies and shows. And my mouth will stay open. Oh my gosh. So anyway, that's like at the end of the movie, obviously, they got it done. And I remember being like, yo, that dude, and the dude that caused the whole issue, he would be like cheering and all that stuff. I was like, he should be in quiet in the corner somewhere, mute, because you caused all of these issues. And somebody lost their life because of it. And more people could have lost their life. They had to evacuate, like, cities or towns, I mean. They had to literally, like, do so much. I was like, oh, he's fired as hell. I know he is fired as hell. And they said at the end of the movie, they was like, he works at a fast food restaurant now. He was an engineer as well. But he didn't, like... See, this is the importance of following SOP and PPE and all of that, because you literally had one job and you wanted to rush it and then caused a horrific issue because of it, because you wanted to cut corners. So anyway, watch the movie. I loved it. Everyone have a good day. Bye.